Okay. Well, that will be the okay for us. Yes. And now I could not see the. Yes, all check is okay. Now, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Rio de Santos, and I am here with you. According with titles, yes, today we are roasting Karolina Goswami in the topic of FRC bills. But now, according with titles, here we can see what is the topic to roast Karolina Goswami. In these cases, here my topic is to roast Karolina Goswami is here as a discussions of Hindu, Hindu mythology versus Christian mythologies. And now, in these cases, today we can discuss at the moment the Russian women's on Ketan Agarwal. Well, I mean Russian women's economy on Ketan Agarwal. Okay? Now let's take at the moments. Let's say see. Well, I would condense here. One close. Yes. Now let's take at the moments. And here we can see it is an YouTube Israel. And here is here any answer from the question where topic is Christian dictator versus India. Now let's take it. What is the statement of Karolina Goswami? Yes, Ram Ram. What a lesson our Indian peoples talk to the Western Christian dictator. That Western Christian today that we talk about the Hindu majority India did to their dictators. But first listen carefully to anyone's. They should not dare to the pressure India to promote a foreign religious institution that promotes homophobia or anti-LGBTs. And now, in the timestamp to be 28 seconds, UMass has encouraged me understand that no one should have the courage to promote such a foreign religious culture in India. That is the uh, statement of Karolina Goswami in the 28 seconds timestamps. And now let's take it the moments. Now, what is her points? In 37 seconds, she states that applying pressure that could trigger anti-abortion extremisms or anti-abortion terrorisms. Now, what is anti-abortion extremism or anti-abortion terrorism? I do not know. Well, anyone dares that should not be any pressure on India to promote such a foreign religious forces whose guns are spread through verb therapy. And now, in the 53 seconds timestamps, now let's check it. What is the statement of Karolina Goswami? Okay, now here we can see that's the moments. Let's check it. He has a track record of torturing innocent peoples. No one should dare to try the kind of torture of India's. Well, Christian sectarians are pressure on us to face conflicts. Yes, no one should have the courage to listen carefully. Okay. Now, now let's check it. What is the points of whom Karolina Goswami in that timestamp to be 1 minute 10 seconds? Pressure India to own Christianity associate religious institution with a track record of slaveries. Now that is the points. And now let's check it. What is today's realities about the Ketan Agarwals? And now let's check it. we could see that is the significant opposite moments. Okay, now let's check it about what are the moments of Ketan Agarwal cases. And now we would see the points. It is the moments. Well, it is about the Ketan Agarwal's murder case. The cafe meets the change everything. Okay. Now in these cases, here is the moments. Now here is my today's points that I would clarify. So here the today's point is very significant. Now what is the today's points? In the today's points here we can see, well, we would notify that what is the probabilities that the Russian women can fund to Siagosas to eliminate on the Ketan Agarwals. And that is the realities at the moment. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Now here I would mention that what is the points on the Devi Durgas. Okay. Now in these cases here we can see accordance with Hindu mythologies. Here is the points that is the significant terms accordance with Hindu mythologies. Our honorable goddess Durga has eliminated the demons Mohishasur. Okay, goddess can eliminate demons, it will be okay. But now the point was that Mohishasur was man and the goddess Durga was a woman. Okay. And now in previous times we would mention here in Indian Hindu mythologies, here the several points to be noticed. Women are not being discriminated. Sita has been protected by Lord Rams, and in Mahabharata to protect Draupadi's modesty, well, Lord Krishna, the man to be gods, and the Panch Pandav to be five men were against Duryodhana and his 100 brothers. And now let's take at the moments. But now, in these cases, when we would discuss the perception of Ramans, we would discuss the funding on Siagosals from the Russians. Okay. And now let's check at the moments. It is the cases. Well, and now when we are talking about the Russians, somehow, well, there is the significant parts that we contains and significant threats of the video reaches. Okay. Now let's check at the here we can see. Now, okay. Well. And now it is the women's to be Russian women's named Katerina Tikhonova. Well, she is a Russian scientist, Russian manager, and Russian formal acrobatic dancers, and Russian mathematicians as well as. And now, what is her second recognitions? Well, we can see these points. Her second recognition is that she is the daughter of Russian presidents Vladimir Putin's. Yes, Russian presidents Vladimir Putin's at the moment. Now we can see these points. Now here we can see here is one point. Because of Soviet Russia's dictatorships on India, here India could contains the economy of 1 trillion United States dollars as in gross domestic products in 52 years. Just because of Russian presidents, I mean Soviet Russia. Okay. And now, today we contest here as an good diplomatic relations between India and Russia, where the current Russian President Vladimir Putin is KGB agents. And now, when Russian President's KGB agents Vladimir Putin's it is clear that Katrina Tikhonova would not uh, tolerate the high gross domestic products of India. And there is the moment that is the significant parts. Now let's check it. When the futures project of Ketan Agarwal, we know that Ketan Agarwal is a real estate businessman. Now, what was the points to be noticed? And in these cases, here is one point. Okay. Now let's check it. But we could notice that when we contest and questions, and here is one building in Israel with containing 2 million stories, where 666,000 stories would be here on automobile research and development departments. Well, 2 million stories, I apologize, 666,000 stories would be under the Department of Manufactures, and 668,000 stories would be under what? That would be under the showrooms to sell the Israeli car with the velocity of 297,000 km per second. And now, what would be the cost of 2 million stories Israeli buildings? And now, in these cases, foundation and systematic system is 100 trillions. Structural materials cost is here 330 trillions. Research and development facilities contains 50 trillions. Manufacture floors contains 150 trillions. Sales infrastructure contains 30 trillions. And the total cost is here 660 trillion United States dollars. Okay. Now, in these cases, now here is the moments when Ketan Agarwal is a real estate businessman to be young. Then what is the meaning of construction cost of Israeli building with the 2 million stories to be here 660 trillion United States dollars? That is the clear-cut points. And here we can see as a successful projects to build Israeli automobile buildings to be 2 million stories. Here Ketan Agarwal's company can get the net income to be 660 trillion United States dollars. But now, let's check at the moments what is the current gross domestic products of India. In this cases, current gross domestic products of India is 4.6 trillion United States dollars. That means here we could notify if Ketan Agarwal's future projects would be successful, where future project is Israeli automobile buildings with 2 million stories. It is clear that there 600 the new Indian gross domestic product would be 664.6 million, average 664.6 trillion United States dollars. And that is the words of the moments, the points. Here I contains 2 minutes to fix the sound. Now here you can see the I contains the fix the sound. And now here you can notify. Well, I would state the 1 point and I would reply. Adonai Akbar, Adonai Akbar, Adonai Akbar, Adonai Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Adonai, Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Adonai. Ashadamna Prophet Mose Rasulullah Adonai, Ashadamna Prophet Mose Rasulullah Adonai. Ayala Sala, Ayal Yodisala, Ayal Yodisala, Ayal Yodifala, Ayal Yodifala. Adonai Akbar, Adonai Akbar, La ilaha illa Adonai. And now, in this case, my Ajan reply is complete. And now, let's check at the moments. Well, now here we can see, well, Israel, the successful future project of Israeli automobile skyscraper buildings. Well, when the new Indian gross domestic product would be 664.6 trillion United States dollars. That would be the significant threats for the several persons. And we know that who was the several persons to win the moments. And now let's check at the moments. The one of several person is Katrina Tikhonova. Okay. Now here we can see in this cases. Now let's discuss about geopolitics out of India for 2 minutes. In this case, here we can see here is the war is operational between Israel versus Iran, and now it becomes as the pro-Israel versus Iran. And now, in this case, Iran is a pro-Palestine. Hence, the war is between pro-Israel versus pro-Palestine. And indeed, here, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, is pro-Palestine, and here we can see the points. Now, in these cases, what is the pro-Palestine movements? Here, pro-Palestine movements is only to establish Sharia law in every progressive country of the world. It does not matter the progressive country would be England or the progressive country would be America. That is the significant trace we could notice. Okay. Now here we can see these points. But now, when Indian new gross domestic products would be 664.6 trillion United States dollars after success of Ketan Agarwal's future projects. And now India would be the one country who contains the dominations on the world. And now in these cases, recently India's enemy is two countries, that is Pakistan and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a significant enemy of India. And now, India's development is an hateful for Katrina Tikhonova, because if Indian gross domestic after the success of the future real estate process of Ketan Agarwal, Russia cannot control India. Now in 2026 in real life, Russia could not control America. Even China could not control America. Well, China is the second economy of the gross domestic products, and United States of America is the first economy of gross domestic products. And now, that is the significant point to be noticed. And here, we could see that what is the conspiracy of, Tikhonova. What is the conspiracy of Tikhonova at the moment? Now, in these cases, here we can see the points. Tikhonova would provide a car to hide Shia Goswami from Pune. And now in these cases, departure time would be here. What's the case at the moment? No, consciously, Katrina Tikhonova provides unconscious medicines to Shia Goswami, and Shia Goswami feed it to Ketan Agarwal, and in the mountain of the Pune, Shia Goswami just throw, and Ketan Agarwal has been dead in June 18, 2026, and that is the moments at the points. Now, as a probable records, it will be of the records in June 16, 2026. Well, what is the supplements of unconscious medicines Katrina Tikhnova provide to Siagosas? And now let's take the moments. In these cases, well, now here we can see Russian scientist Katrina Tikhnova's provide a car to Siagosas where, car departure time is Moscow, the capital city of Russia, and arrival places is Pune, the city of Maharashtra, provincial state of India. Now let's take at the moments. What is the car velocities? Well, the car driving distance is 20,897 kilometers, 980 meters. As a round figure, that is 21,000 kilometers. And now let's take at the moments. When let's assume here car velocity to rescue Siagosas would be 21,000 kilometers per second, provided by whom? That would be provided by a person's. Who is the persons? The person is Katrina Tikhonova. Okay, she's a Katrina Tikhonova. And now let's take at the points. Well, rescue. What is the rescue departure times? In that case, here rescue departure time is morning 6 o'clock. Morning 6 o'clock, June 18, 2026, and the arrival time is morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, June 18, 2026. And now in this cases, and here we can see, and now here we can notify it is the rescue plans of Katrina Tikhnova, that she would rescue the toxic feminist Siagosas. Okay, now here we can see the points. And now we can see here we can discuss the velocity and we can discuss the travel time of the cars. Now car is one of the plans, three plans to rescue Siagosas, where planning person is, plan creator is Katrina Tikhonova, the Russian princess to be daughter of the Russian president Vladimir Putin. And now, in these cases, here is the moments that would be the significant points. And now, let's take the moments. What's going on at the points? Now, what will be the kinetic energies? In these cases, here kinetic energy would be calculated. What is the kinetic energy would be calculated? Here we have to see what will be the half of the car half of the weight of car to be provided by Katrina Tikhonova to rescue Siagosal, the elimination criminals of Ketan Agarwal. The weight of car, half of weight of car would be 1,000 kilograms. And now let's take the moments. What is the velocity that will be now when the travel time is 1 second? Now we can see the distance is 21,000 kilometers and velocity is 21,000 kilometers per second. Hence travel time would be 1 second. Now when travel time is 1 second, what is the definition of velocity? That is the calculated driving distance. And here 21,000 now hence the driving distance is 21,000 kilometers. Well, what is 21,000 kilometers? That is 21 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And what is the distance square? driving distance square, that would be 21 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square. Now what is 21 square? That is 441. And on the other hand, what is 10 to the power 6 square? When 6 can be multiplied by 2 to get a result to be 12, hence 6 and in 10 to the power 6 square is 10 to the power 12. And now in this cases, distance square is 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 is, 10 to the power 12 meter square. And now, what is the calculations of kinetic energy? Where calculation would be at the method of Christian scientist Isaac Newton's kinetic powers methods. In this cases, when travel time is 1 second, we know kinetic power is kinetic energy. And now, in this cases, the moments, here is the point, the calculation of kinetic power is 1000 kilograms multiplied by 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter square. And now, in this cases, what is 12 sum by 3, that is 15. And it is now here 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 in joules. That is 441 balance megawatts. And now that is say their significant realities as we could notice. Okay, now let's check at the points. And what would be the fuels? According with Russian scientist Katerina Tikhonova to be daughter of Russian President Vladimir Putin. In this cases, here we can notify. And now, Katerina Tikhonova chose a fuel to be petrol to rescue whom? To rescue Sheikh to be criminals of the Ketan Agarwal's eliminations. And now, in these cases, here we can see the points. What is the fuel words? Now let's check at the points. Now here you can see that's the significant moments when I would condense and calculations. And now, in these cases, the calculation of fuel volume, where fuel is petrol, the calculation of fuel volume would be simple, that is, would be kinetic power divided by bracket of specific heat of petrol multiplied by temperature difference versus by, multiplied by the temperature density of petrol. And now, what is density of petrol? That is 0.7778. And what is specific heat of petrol? That is 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And what is the specific heat of, okay, now what is the specific heat of the temperature, highest temperature difference? That is here 50 degrees Celsius. Now what is 2 multiplied by 50? That is 100. Okay, hence the calculation is 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 watts can be divided by bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.778. And in these cases, when travel time is 1 second, the unit of unit watts is actually unit joules. Okay, and now let's check at the moments. And now in these cases, here we can see 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 15, that can be here divided by words. Here that can be divided by 100 multiple bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.778 bracket close. And now let's check it what's going on. That would be here almost 5.7 quadrillion liter of petrols. And now here is the questions that we contain the answers. Well, what is and now we can see We know 1 liter petrol costs 2 United States dollars, and now 1 liter, 5.7 liter petrol costs almost 11.4 United States dollars. Now, can you see what would be the moments of 5.7? Well, quadrillions liters of petrol cost, that would be 11.4 quadrillions United States dollars. And now in this case is the moments. Here we can see that is the significant points. Well, here is the plans of Katrina Tikhonova. Well, Katrina Tikhonova is paying, receiving. Okay, now here you can see. Katrina Tikhonova's car is rescuing Sheikh Ghosals, and hence Sheikh Ghosals is paying 11.4 quadrillions United States dollars. And now, here the point is Indian current Ghosals domestic products after the death of Ketan Agarwal is 4.6 trillion United States dollars. Hence, what is the meaning of 11.4 quadrillion United States dollars? Now 1 quadrillion is 1000 trillions. Now 1 quadrillion divided by 1 trillion is 1000. And now in these cases, here we can see the points. What is the divisions of 11.4 thousands divided by 4.6, 11,400 can be divided by 4.6, and now that would be here 2479 times. That means in these cases, here is the moments with a driving purpose. Here we can see with a driving purpose we could notify. Well, Sheikh Ghosals can destroy the entire Indian gross domestic product with 2478 tons to spend on 5.7 quadrillion liters of petrol of a car provided by the Russian scientist Katrina Tikhonova, the daughters of Russian President Vladimir Putin's hence, and that is the significant points. And now in these cases, now what is the moments of Christian ideology? Accordance with Christian ideology, here we can see what is the Christian ideology. According with Christian ideologies, here women are demons. Even in accordance with Genesis, well, women's okay. Accordance with Genesis here, if the wife of Adam, where Adam and Eve are both the first humans, according with Genesis Bible, if the wife of Adam commit sins by eating a satanic khajur, okay, and in these cases, and here, both of Adam and Eve has been kicked out from kingdom of Christian heavens, and that is the significant the end points. It is going to be notified. Well, Adam has been kicked from the heaven because of his wife Eve. Now here we can see the points. Well, the second wife of Prophet Abraham to be Jamajam, well, Jamjam, Hafsa, is the two criminals that she wants the prophecy of her own daughters. And now we can see the points in Islamic mythologies, Afsa contains son, and in Christian mythologies, Afsa can contain son or Afsa can contain daughters. Here is the moments. And now it is the significant points to brothers. Well, in the Christian ideologies, in the Christian mythologies, Prophet Moses Prophet Moses, Israeli community has been persecuted by the wife of Egyptian pharaoh. And now, we can see the points. Egyptian pharaohs has been sinner under the controls of his wives. This is the points of accordance with Christian mythologies. And now in this case, in every story of the Christian mythologies, women are evils. And now, Lucifer, morning star, the women to be archangels are revolting against the gods, and she becomes the Satan, Lucifer. Now, it is the women in Christian mythologies. And now we can see those points. Now, why Katrina Tikhonova can support Shia Goswami in the case of Ketan Agarwal? Because Katrina Tikhonova knows through her father to be Russian President Vladimir Putin that India is an Hindu country with a Hindu mythologies. India is a Hindu country. And in these cases, in Hindu countries, India, that is the clears. Every Hindu celebrities always respect women. Even the Hindu Prime Minister Narendra Modi did not take any actions on 600 million anti-Indian women, anti-national Indian women, where the following 600 million anti-national Indian women was mourning on the death of Iranian Islamic terrorist Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and celebrating on the October 7, 2026. And now that is the moments. Here we can see these points. Now what's going on in these cases? Before starting the projects, Ketan Agarwal has been eliminated by Shia Goswami. Hence, Indian government is silent about the Iranian terrorist Ali Khamenei. But what? In 2026, in August 2026, Ketan Agarwal would be alive, and Shia Goswami has been in judiciary custody only in the case of attempt to murder of Ketan Agarwal. Then what would be the points? In that cases, here Ketan Agarwal would succeed his project to be Israeli automobile companies building with the 2 million stories, when the car to be manufactured from the following buildings would be with the velocity to be 297,000 km per second. And now this is the case of the points. And what is the momentum as the points? Indian gross domestic product is 4.6 trillion United States dollars, where the population is 1.5 billion. Okay, now what will be the moments? 4.6 trillion United States dollars of the Indian gross domestic product means your capital income would be 3,000 United States dollars. But what if your Ketan Agarwal would succeed his future project that costs 660 trillion United States dollars? It is very simple. Indian gross domestic products would be 664.6 trillion United States dollars as in new gross domestic products. And now, in this cases, what will be the meanings of that? Now, let's calculate. Well, 664.6 thousand divided by 1.5. And now, let's check is what's the calculation relative moments. And now, in these cases, now here is an hypothetical calculations. What if India would be a Christian countries of the Christian mythologies in lieu of Hindu mythology? Because Hindu mythologies always support the criminal like Sheikh. Okay, 664.6 multiple by 10 to I forgot 664.6 multiple by 2. Well, that can be divided by 3. And now let's check is what the moments. That would be here 443.067. That means in this cases the months when Indian new gross domestic product would be 664.6 trillion United States dollars. Hence the capital income would be 443,000 67 United States dollars. As the capital income to be 443,067 United States dollars. And now in these cases, hence India would be, for Indian capital would be 4 times strong than United States capital income. And now let's take the moments. And here, when United States capital income is 100,000 United States dollars, here Russia could not control. Russian President Vladimir Putin could not control the United States of America. And now, in these cases, Katrina Tikhnova would be the scare of Indian gross domestic products. And in these cases, India would respect the misogyny, and they would can change the syllabus of the Hindu mythologies, where we can see these moments. Here, Rama's every demo's gender would be women's, and every god's gender would be man's. There would be no women to be goddess. And in these cases, that would be the control in India. Okay, that is the threat for whom? That is the threat for both of Katrina Tikhonova and Sheikh. Because here we can see Katrina Tikhonova celebrates Hindu mythology because according to Hindu mythology, here women are treated like a gods. And now here we can see, here we can compare Hindu mythology versus Christian mythologies. Now let's check who is the dictators. Okay. Now when the country is India, here the definition of dictator would be only to provide the governmental support to a particular ideology that can destroy the Indian gross domestic products. That is the definition of dictatorship according to India. Well, it can be religious dictatorship, it can be political dictatorship, or it can be military dictatorships. Okay. And now let's come into the points about the movements. Well, what about the Christian? What is the Christian mythology? In Christian mythology, there is no angels to be women. There is no archangel to be women. There is no prophet to be women. And there is no daughter of gods. Well, there is an only Son of God, that is Jesus Christ. Okay? And now let's take it the moments and the points. It is the symbolic points. And every apostle is man. In Hindu mythology, I apologize, Christian mythologies. But what about the Hindu mythologies? Well, in Hindu mythologies, every woman is treated like a goddess. And here, 90% man is treated like a demon. And I am sweating in this case. Now, let's check out the moments. Well, here is the topic of the moments. Well, now let's check it. Let's come into the points about educations. Well, according with educations, in Christian awareness, let's start with Hindu mythologies. According with educations, who is the who is god of educations? That is Saraswati, and she is women to be goddess of educations in Hindu mythology. On the other hand, who is the archangel of education in the Christian mythology? That is Archangel Michael. Okay. Now let's take it the words. And now, what is the functions of Archangel Michael in Christian mythologies? Here, Archangel Michael in Christian mythologies is to provide the support to the the humans, that he can be educated in a PhD or master's degree or bachelor degrees. Now, for example, here we can see when I can calculate that what is the plans both what is the plan of Katrina Tikhonova to rescue toxic feminist criminal Sia Goswami in the case of Ketan Agarwal's death. Then what is the physics in her plans? Here I would like to calculate, and here who is my supporters in Christian mythology? That is Archangel Michael. But in Hindu mythologies, in these cases, now when Sia Goswami want to be rescued from India with the support of Katrina Tikhonova, who is the god of education to provide the support to Katrina Tikhonova. That is Hindu goddess Saraswati. Now in this case, here we can see, according with Hindu mythology, what is goddess Saraswati's function? To provide educational support to women to rescue the criminals. Well, now we can see what is the function of Archangel of education in Christian mythology to be Archangel Michael, to expose the toxic feminist rescue operation for toxic feminist criminals. And here is the point, that is the difference between Archangel Michael's, Christian Archangel Michael's and Hindu Saraswati. But now, here we can see the points. Well, now we could see Archangel Michael wants that Hindu real estate businessman Ketan Agarwal would be the richest man of the world to being an Indian Hindu man. That is the wish of Archangel Michael. But now what is the moment of the points? That is the wish of Archangel Michael. But what is the wish of Saraswati? The Saraswati is that Indian gross domestic products would be, but still remains here poor countries with the capital income to be 1,000 United States dollars. That is the wish of Hindu goddess Saraswati. Well, now, when Ketan Agarwal would be dead, when he is a Hindu man, Indian Hindu man, here Christian Archangel Michael would be angry and Hindu goddess Saraswati would be happy. And now, that is the significant threat for the moments. Okay, now let's check at the points. Now, which religious community is a dictator in India? Western Christian or Indian Hindu? And in these cases, we could notify that Indian Hindu are dictators, that they contest no angry reactions against Sheikh when the brilliant Indian Hindu man, Ketan Agarwal, has been eliminated. When Ketan Agarwal as a Hindu is the meritorious real estate businessman. Now it is the point to notice. That is the significant threat we could concerns. Okay. Now let's take at the points to here we can see. Well, it is one of the driving routes. Now, second point, second fraction of the plans is the flying routes. Now let's take at the moments. Here, private jets weight is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms, provided by whom? Provided by Katrina Tikhonova, the daughters of Russian President Vladimir Putin, to rescue Sheikh, the toxic feminist criminal, in the case of Ketan Agarwal's death. And now let's take at the moments. In this case, what's going on? That would be the significant moments. Okay. Now let's check at the moments in these cases. Here, well, departure times and arrival time is okay, same. Air travel time is 1 second. Now distance is here. Flying distance is 15,604 kilometers. As a round figure, that is 16,000 kilometers. When the velocity of the Russian planes is 16,000 kilometers per second, and as a Russian Sukhoi 37 private planes. Now let's check at the moments. When travel time is 1 second, here we know the velocity definition of velocity is calculate distance with the travel time to be 1 second. And now let's check at the moments. Well, in this case, kinetic power is actually kinetic energy. Okay. Now, what is the distance? That is 16,000 kilometers. That would be 16 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. Hence, what is the distance square? That is here 256 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meters square. And what is half of weight of Russian Sukhoi-37 fighter private planes. Private planes, that would be here 10 to the power 5 kilograms. Because complete weight is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And now let's take the points. What is 27? That would be 2 to the power 7. Now, what is the calculations of kinetic energy of Russian Sukhoi-37 private passenger planes as a kinetic force? The calculation would be 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 257 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Now, what is the summation of 5 sum by 12? That is 710A. And now, in this cases, that would be here. Well, kinetic power is 256 multiplied by 10 to the power 17A joules. That means it is the kinetic powers to be 25.6 trillion megawatts at the cases. And now let's check at the moments. What would be there here? Well, what would be the fuel cost? Where fuel chosen by Katrina Tikhonova is petrol. And here we can see that is the significant points. It would be here. Calculations of petrol volume would be 257 as well as 256 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 can be divided by bracket of 100 multiplied by 0.7778 bracket close. And that would be here 256 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 can be divided by 0.7778. And now in this cases, what would be the result at the points? That is the clear cut moments, and here we can see. Well. Now we have 256 multiplied by 10 to the power 15. That can be divided by 0.7778. And now what's the results? That would be here 329.2 quadrillion liters of petrols. Now let's check at the ones when we know the 1 liter petrol cost $2 US. And what is the cost of 329.2 liters of petrols? Well, 9 multiplied by 2 is 18. 2 square is 4, of course. And now what is 32 multiplied by 2? That is here 64. And now 40 sum by 18 is 58. Hence the cost of 329.2 liters of petrol would cost well 658.4 United States dollars. Okay. And now let's take the points. Well, what is the cost of 329.2 quadrillion United States dollars? That would be here 648.6 quadrillion United States dollars is the cost of 329.2 quadrillion liters of petrol. Okay. Now let's check at the ones. Well, Sejal Power would pay 658.4 quadrillion liters of United States dollars as the cost of 329.2 quadrillion liters of petrol. And now, but when Indian gross domestic product is well 4.5 as 4.6 trillion United States dollars, then what is the meaning of cost to be cost of 329.2 quadrillion liters of petrol? And now let's take the points. Well, 1 quadrillion divided by 1 trillion can be 1000. Okay. Now here is the calculation at the moment. Well, 658,400 can be divided by 4.6. And now let's check it. What is the results at the moment? And now in these cases, okay. Now here in this, 658,400 can be divided by what? 4.6, and the result would be here 143,131 times. That means in these cases, well, accordance with the plan of, Katrina Tikhonova, automobile science. Here we could see our honorable ugly girl to be Indian toxic feminist criminal Sheikh can be dedicated to destroy the entire Indian gross domestic products with 143,131 tons to pay 329.2 quadrillion liter of petrol to be rescued by Katrina Tikhonova, when the topic is in the case of, Ketan Agarwal's murder case. Case. And here we can see the points. Now we could notify, here we could see, what if the person would be here, what if the India would be the Christian country? What if India would be the country with the majority of Christian mythology? And now in this cases, Elon Musk faces toxic feminism. Now he is the most trillionaire of the United States of America. Or we could say that as an United States citizen, Elon Musk is to face the toxic feminism to be the only one temporary trillionaire of the world. And now that is the moment to be noticed. And in these cases, here is the travel points that can be cleared. 143, and here we can see Ketan Agarwal's, when the Ketan Agarwal would be successful in his future project to be Indian or Israel automobile buildings with the location of Tel Aviv, the capital city of Israel, with the cost of 660 trillion United States dollars. That means Ketan Agarwal can contest the net worth to be 660 trillion United States dollars. That means in these cases, after the success of the future project, Ketan Agarwal would be 660 times trillionaire than Elon Musk. Now we can see, now when Elon Musk is United States citizen to be 1 trillionaire, trillionaires with a net worth of 1 trillion United States dollars. Here neither Vladimir Putin nor Katrina Tikhonova could control the United States of America. And now that is the United States of America with the Christian mythology. But what about the Indian mythologies? We can say those points. Before the starting of the future project we have mentioned, here Ketan Agarwal's net worth was 80 million United States dollars. And here we can see this point. Even Mukesh Ambani's net worth is, Gautam Adani's net worth is here 160 billion United States dollars. And here, both of Russian President Vladimir Putin and her daughter to be Russian scientist Katerina Tikhonova contains the easy target to be India to establish the toxic feminism as a normalized in India. That is the plan. Here we can see the funds. What is the cause? Because here we can see Hindu mythology always treat women like a goddess, where in Christian mythology women are treated like a demons and men are treated like a angels. And now in these cases, in United States of America, here is a proverb: every man are angels and every woman are demons. Yeah, that is the proverb of United States of America. When United States of America is a country with a Christian mythologies. But now we can see this points. In Hindu mythologies, the gender system is opposites. And here we can see, but still, we contains here 1 hour live streams. Now, here is my final verse. Well, I would accept here Hindu. Here we can see I would accept Hindu mythology as a religious history of India, but please, the first condition is bring Ketan Agarwal alive repeatedly. Please, it is my humble request. And now here you can see this points. I think I would lose here my Hindu brothers, but I want to trust in Hindu mythologies because Hindu mythologies is our South Asian traditions, and that is our pride. But some stories of the Hindu mythologies contains the negative results as the death of Ketan Agarwal. That is the significant concerns. Okay. Now here you can see these points. Well, it is the last stream to roast here Karolina Goswami in the topic of Hindu mythology versus Christian mythology, where the main topic is here Ketan Agarwal's death. Now we can see the next last stream. I would mention here the points accordance with the perception on Himanshu Jagra. Here I would mention here what is the difference between Hindu mythology versus Christian mythologies. Well, in Hindu mythologies, we contains here Himanshu Jagra, and in Christian mythologies, we contains two richest persons of the United States of America. The accordance with the calendars, the first richest man is Bill Gates, and second richest man is Jeffrey Bezos. And now, well, Bill Gates and Jeffrey Bezos is an importance to discuss the points how the Hindu mythology to support feminism destroy the careers of the innocent man to be Himanshu Jagra. Let's see, get the points. Okay, see you then. Khuda Hafiz, love you. And I think, well, I lost my minds in these cases. And now, I wonders that why Karolina Goswami is supporting the Hindu mythology against Christian mythology in India, where Christian mythology saved Bill Gates and Jeffrey Bezos, but Hindu mythology destroyed the careers of Himanshu Chakra. That is the significant point at the moment.